Burlage. I'm not an investor at Vault Capital, but that's what my tag says. Sweet, we got a good group of people on the panel today, and this talk is going to be about how dApps leverage chain abstraction. Sweet, and to get started, maybe I'd love to have you guys intro yourselves. I know a couple of you guys have already talked, but an intro and a high-level overview about what you're building would be perfect.
Thank you. I'm Oleg. I'm co-founder of Sweat Economy, and we're building a product that makes the world more physically active by making your movement valuable and tradable and liquid. And the goal is to build movement economy where you will be able to exchange the value of your physical activity as a payment for goods, products, services, and experiences. So, yeah, it's a big vision, it's a big project. We've been at it already for 10 years and we covered a lot of ground, and we're ready for 10 more.
Awesome. I'm Nik here, I lead BD for DapDap. We are positioning ourselves to be your gateway into Ethereum Layer 2s. The idea is to be the central hub where you can connect onto any EVM compatible network and access the dApps that are available there, almost having it be this central hub where you can stake, farm, lend, borrow, bridge, swap as you would normally, and access DeFi and do the things you want to do, but in a consolidated platform. Similarly, targeting a big goal. You know, we've got big plans for 2024 and years beyond, so yeah.
Hey, my name is Anatolii. I just gave a talk 5 minutes ago. So I'm founder of Calibria and founder of Alfred bot. Alfred bot is a simple bot for your swaps and snipes, and Calibria operates on OFA, and we actually build different solutions in transaction supply network.
Awesome. I'm Peter. I'm founder of Hero Wallet, and we're working a lot with lockdown. So we, as a main wallet in their ecosystem, now we have more than 1 million daily active users. The operator, we do a lot of stuff to onboard more people in Web3 and make the wallets, the crypto infrastructure available for any users, and running with them the best UI experience. And technology stack. So, yeah.
Great, thank you for the intros. So the first topic, would love to go into how your products currently use chain abstraction, and the answer can be no. And if the answer is no, I'd love to hear about how you guys navigate building with the current infrastructure stack.
Okay, so I'll start off because we're actually kind of a no. We abstract, in a sense, the UI layer. We're not abstracting accounts or assets. And by doing this, we're leveraging BOS. So BOS is a protocol developed by Mir. It's the blockchain operating system. And with this, we're allowed to deploy composable front ends. And I think what's really important here is to differentiate smart contracts from front ends. So in a vision that we see, years beyond, there will be multiple applications that you use on a daily basis that could be calling from the most prominent smart contracts and protocols, say Uniswap, QuickSwap, Aave, Compound, right? So with this in mind, what we're doing now is leading this front end, being the pioneers to be able to have BOS leverage the front end aspect and be a consolidated platform that has 100 to 500 applications live where you can connect your wallet, use EVM compatible networks, and leverage this aspect of using multiple front ends, but then interacting with the smart contracts that are secure, safe, auditable, battle tested, and ones that love and truly use on a daily basis. So yeah, at the moment, the vision here is leveraging front ends and not going deep into account abstraction as of yet, but obviously chain abstraction and account abstraction and asset abstraction will come soon. So yeah, we're flipping it on its head and saying no at the moment.
Yeah, I would add, same stuff, saying no at the moment, but actually, the vision is to use chain abstraction, of course, but small note here, so existing users, they just get used to like those like gas and legion stuff, and you need to educate them in order to import to like chain abstraction approach. So yeah, UI like balance abstraction and UI tricks is actually what we're already like deploying right now to the Telegram bot, and yeah, that's small steps what to do. But for the next wave of adoption, probably you don't need to do like, probably next like user which will like land in a couple of years to crypto, they will not know about the chain at all.
I think to add into that, sort of like having an app on app stores, but without you necessarily realizing you're using the underlying tech, right? In the same way you use Gmail, Outlook, or Hotmail, but you're using SMTP, POP, or IMAP as the tech to send mail or receive mail, right? You don't need to think about the protocol you're using, but just use the apps that are leveraging the protocols underneath. So that's a very important point.
Yeah, I'll add that we know that absence of chain abstraction is a huge issue. We've run a lot of campaigns with dApps on other chains, and conversion rate of people able to cross over and get an account, get it funded, is very, very low single percentages. And they want to, they try, they fail, they are frustrated, and they are unhappy users because of that. With chain abstraction, we're going to be able to allow them to achieve that result with a couple of clicks. And that is the difference between happy customer and unhappy customer, making money and not making money. It's incredible, huge kind of move forward, both from the user engagement and also from monetization.
We use actually chain abstraction pretty deep. So with the users making it actually difficult, we pay gas for them, and we execute almost 900,000 transactions per day for users. And I think this is one of the key points how we have this good onboarding experience, because with the chain abstraction we was able to do not ask people to understand how the money works. We just create a wallet, and if you need to send your USDT, you don't have to buy NIR before. And I think this is one of the great experiences with the kind of abstraction which help us to create a product which is so easy to understand and to use. And in the future we are going to do a lot of new features in this direction. We will use account abstraction, so people will be able to sign transactions on any chain by using their wallet to pay for gas. And this is going to be a pretty huge product, and we'll move all these users to any other chains. And I'm a big fan of account abstraction. I think we can achieve a lot in the onboarding experience with it.
Great. Anatolii, could I ask you a question around deploying a Telegram bot on various different domains? So the frictions that it would take right now versus what would be solved with kind of a chain abstraction layer?
So it's not about like deploying and developing. Developer is not confused at all. So that's why actually people use Telegram bots, because developers who do they're not confused with those like issues. But for the user, like we have like the rollup centric future. We have like Blast coming in tomorrow. We have Base, Arbitrum, all of that. And for user, it's actually the challenge to like jump from one network to another. And yeah, so in terms of like Telegram bot, user will be just happy to like paste something like intent, and then don't care about like on which specific L2 is just executed. Yeah, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, perfect. And Oleg, you kind of touched on this, but you mentioned kind of the product impact on the user level. You said it's hard to retain users after you acquired them. Can you speak more to the product challenges on the business impact side without a full chain abstraction suite?
Yeah, we have millions of users, and by and large, they're not crypto natives. And when they come in, they have some dApps that they have heard of and they would like to interact with. And we receive the support emails like, kind of, how do I trade on kind of PancakeSwap? And set of instructions would be nearly endless. Wouldn't it be amazing to just be able to click on PancakeSwap, open it, and being able to trade? Because behind the scenes, we spun up your account, we managed to breach some assets and, kind of cover your gas fees, and you can literally just go and trade. So I don't think that the issue is that it's hard to retain users right now. They are retained, but it's very difficult to paint the vision of Web3 that they've heard, because it is extremely confined. And right now they're in Near. If they go and they engage with another ecosystem, it is again limited. It is isolated islands, and we just need to start thinking about it and kind of in a bigger sense. Kind of from the planet perspective. All of these things need to be joined up. And as you said, people don't need, kind of, when I use any app, I don't give a shit if it's on AWS or GCP, right? I mean, it works. It would never even cross my mind to wonder, kind of what back tech they are using if I'm a layman. And that is the situation that we're going to find ourselves in literally within the next year or two, or we're going to continue struggling with bringing next 10 million, 100 million, next billion people.
I just want to chime in. I think it's to that point of reducing fragmentation, right? Like, we have so much tribalism that happens in these segregated communities, different ecosystems, whether you come in for NFTs, whether you come in for a DApp or a token, and how do we kind of bring that together and have it be captured, at the attention level, right? Like, if people are coming in to use Sweat and exercise, cool, then how do they take that further and interact with DeFi as a whole and use other ecosystems, right? How can we further this notion of being able to use multiple dApps and ecosystems in one unified experience and having it be really easy and have the barriers be broken down? And so we really want to reduce fragmentation. I think that's really a core premise here. There's going to be 100, L2s that are coming out this year. There's probably going to be 1,000 new forks, hundreds of apps. How do we improve this? And it comes first with improving the user journey, the user experience, chain abstraction, and ultimately creating universal front ends that actually improve this experience, and separating the aspect of I'm using this protocol or that protocol, but larger, you're using an application and you're using DeFi. And that's really the point to drive home.
Great. I think we can move on to the next topic. I think as application builders, you have to identify and choose chain abstraction infrastructure to use. Maybe we can start with you, Peter. Like how you came to choose Near and how you navigated that design space.
We chose Near 2 years ago, and for the last 2 years we developed some stuff around Near, so it was not a question when we started to create this stuff as Telegram a month ago. Chain abstraction is an obvious solution because you have to create product which people can start using one click. People have to use and then pay, and you cannot ask them to deposit some money to explore and see. And the only one thing how you can do, you have to pay for users for their transaction, for their gas. We figured out that we can actually do this, and we find a solution with Near Foundation to create this related execute users transaction. And it's a pretty obvious decision. It's only one technology you can use if you want to achieve this goal. So, and in general, Near, I think, has a really good space for customer application. If you're not that care about TBL, but you care about some interesting economics, which can application use inside, maybe super customer application, starting from fully legal, some Tinder application. You can create many cool stuff inside with local economics. Near could provide a really great infrastructure for this to build customer application, and chain abstraction is a big part of this.
Great, and other panelists have comments to add there?
Yeah, I mean, for us it was a big decision, and it took a long while we looked at 14 different chains, and we chose Near because of 3 things. One, everyone was talking about next billion people, but frankly, their products were not built for the next billion people. And there was a narrative, and there was a complete failure to deliver something that could process a lot of transactions at a reasonable cost. And kind of on that basic premise, kind of majority of chains that we looked at were not viable for us because our users are low value. I mean, low value is $3 to $5, and this is a starting point. If it's $8 on Ethereum, what kind of next billion people are we talking about? They just don't exist in the world. So first it was doing what you're saying, next billion people, high throughput, really low cost of transaction, and even more importantly, focus on UX, especially onboarding UX. Account abstraction by design is an absolute incredible gift for Web2 user, because the fact that you can change keys, the fact that you can kind of have multiple keys on various devices is an incredible advantage, and still EVMs struggle to bring these users in because they just can't fathom why on earth I can't change my key. This is a normal thing that people expect. I can change the key to my door, I can change the key to this and that, why can't I change the key here? So that's just, kind of big showstopper in people's minds. And everyone in the EVM world is talking about chain account abstraction as if this is just some kind of amazing thing that just, came around. And I'm telling them that Near's got it by design, and quite a lot of people are not even aware of it, which is kind of something that we probably should push. The second thing was team. I really enjoyed interaction with Ilya, with Alex, and the team is absolutely phenomenal. There are a lot of bullshitters in the world that will be selling you snake oil all night long. Without actually having a product. These guys have a product and it works, and when we tested it, it was, our minds were blown. And the third thing that convinced us was actually the alignment of strategy. We already have more than 150 million users. We know how to get to 1 billion, and it's good to work with people who are not trying to build a product for the next 100 whales, but who are actually trying to build products for tens of millions, hundreds of millions of low-value users, because approach, architecture, and every decision that you're going to make is fundamentally diametrically different with these two audiences. So you cannot go, we'll start with whales and then we're going to go for mass market. That never happens. So, kind of people who are building for TVL are people that will never be able to bring in next 100 million people.
100% agree. Great.
100% as well. So interestingly enough, I came into DapDap outside of the Near ecosystem. So coming in, really the product captured my attention. DapDap wouldn't be possible without BOS. And so really this platform and product is a proof of concept as to what BOS can do, the power of decentralizing composable front ends. So it's a really interesting angle here where we are pioneering what it means to deploy composable front ends and have a platform that showcases this technology that was developed by Near. And so I think we're taking a slightly different angle from everyone else, because without DapDap, I don't think BOS would necessarily receive the attention or awareness as other protocols may do on Near. So I'm very excited to see what happens next. We have a lot in the pipeline, and a lot of it comes down to how much attention can we drive to educating users on new L2s, new dApps, new ecosystems, and driving the flywheels behind incentivizing actions. And I think a lot of it is not even necessarily to do with, let's give them these points, or this airdrop or that airdrop, but it's like, let's educate them by being like, okay, come on to Linea, come on to Scroll, ZK Sync, Manta, actually explore the ecosystems and then have a consolidated set of applications that they can actually try out and test and figure out if they like this specific ecosystem further. A lot of it has to do with attention. I think attention there is very key. We are middleware. We want to connect applications, bridges, networks together and have it be a consolidated platform. And really, there's never quite been a central hub like this. I think a good example as to how users have been incentivized to participate and learn about new things has been Galaxy, rabbithole.gg, but it's almost like a set of links. You go onto this quest, you click on this link, you complete the action, but it's not like you're testing the platform. You're not using the new application, you're not using the new network. But at DapDap, it's like, okay, actually try it out, actually use it, get a feel for it, use some assets, bridge some assets, and have it be consolidated there. And with that being said, like the speed at which you can move assets around a network, your asset velocity increases tremendously. Imagine having one platform where you can bridge from this network to that network, and then deposit LP here, borrow on this application, and still swap, and do it all in one consolidated interface. So very exciting. The idea here is to actually have the 100 L2s that are coming out to be in the swap platform, and then us to drive the attention to each application that comes out on each of these ecosystems. So a lot to be said there. A bunch of features, even having portfolio management features coming out, like D-Bank. You can see where you've staked your assets, what you're farming, where you landed on which protocols. Having it be right in front of you is such a visual improvement that improves the convenience of the user's experience as a whole. And driving the user journeys becomes so easy. We could be like, hey, Sweatcoin, you guys want to do this activation maybe for this specific region? Let's work with the partners that are best there. Let's do this and like actually drive incentives that make sense for people, and having it be really easy to use. And I think that's ultimately the biggest vision. Let's step away from protocol upgrades going from V1 to V1.167, 8, 9, 10, but then actually being like, let's improve the experience, let's improve the user journey, and having it be easy so that we can onboard the next billion. I think that's very important.
I totally agree. One question, mobile. Does BOSS composable components work on mobile native application?
It does. We just need to optimize for it. So DapDap as of right now is not optimized for mobile applications. We launched a week ago. With that being said, we got 30,000 users in 1 week, so obviously a huge product market fit. That's just pure mobile optimization that we're going to do. Yeah. So BOS is just us taking HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and hosting it on near nodes, or instead of AWS.
Great. This might be a spicy question, but as application builders, you are somewhat in service to your customers, right? And so how do you feel about the design space between UX and user agency, right? Making decisions on behalf of the user, particularly around financial ones, right? And you dictating trust and security assumptions.
I'm going to talk about my personal experience of switching from Windows to Mac. And in the first day, I really felt that my agency was taken away. But you know what? It fucking worked. And it worked a heck of a lot better. And what's most important for the user is not to be able to twist every single knob that exists, but to actually get to the result in the fastest possible fashion. So over the last 10 years, what we learned is that you need to remove absolutely everything that is not essential. And if people are asking, then you are giving those seeking those settings an opportunity to go and tweak those knobs. But if you push, for example, we have trading right now in Sweat Wallet, we had to completely remove slippage because on that screen, 99% of people just kind of went, well, what is slippage? How does it work? And all of a sudden you're going to need to go through a massive education campaign. You remove it and you put it at an absolute maximum, there is no single complaint whatsoever. So you really need to think, are you dealing with people?
Good time for Jared. Good time for Jared after you did that.
Absolutely. But you know, if you're dealing with crypto natives who are coming with a massive amount of liquidity and they expect this to be there, yes. But if you're dealing with this next 10 million people that just want to see the magic of swapping one token to another, they definitely don't need any of these knobs. And that is coming back to my original point. If you're building for whales, the product that you build is going to be diametrically opposing what you will need to bring 100 million people.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I like the idea of starting with the slippage configuration, but the thing that if user want to swap one asset to another, if you do like the max slippage tolerance for him, he will basically swap like one asset to 0. Because like we have like very aggressive environment, especially in those like cross-chain stuff. So yeah, of course, like L2s, they don't have the mempool, and we have like first come first serve. No much sandwiches. But if like the cross-chain transaction will start on Arbitrum and finish on Ethereum, user will just not receive nothing there. But so yeah, dynamically adjusted slippage. I like this idea. That's really great.
Yeah, actually a great idea. That's a really great idea in terms of the slippage aspect of just mitigating that. Not even have to think about that. Huge difference. I mean, for us, I mean, everything is about user agency. We built this platform to cater towards users, as you know, crypto natives are like, okay, what do we do? How do we make this easier? So everything is at, you know, where we put this user first, put them at the center of everything that we build. So yeah, like largely it's about removing the fragmentation and consolidating products. So everything thus far has been great. We're only a week off launch, so I think it's something to reiterate on, you know, months down the line. But everything we do is to improve the user journey and the user experience at large.
I'll share one very unexpected test result that we ran recently. On the main screen, we have this bunch of cards that you can click to go and do various different things. And we tested removing everything and leaving just one. And the result was the total number of clicks on one card was greater than the sum of all clicks on all cards together. That tells you a little bit about what do people want. Choice and complexity, and knobs to turn around, or what do they actually need? If you ask them openly, they'll say, oh, definitely I want slippage, and I want that, and I want this, and you're going to be building this Rolls Royce, and in reality, all they want is just one button, click, works, and they're happy.
And they want you to tell them what to do, make it easier for them, so.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you think about the slippage wipe, like, I mean, you already know the order book, like you already know the reserves. Why do you need to adjust slippage? Because you can face the risk of non-inclusion. So because like somebody will be before you and like move the price. So but if you would in an abstract way for the user, like all those estimation stuff, and then calculate it for him, you will still have the same result, which he will do but he will do it automatically. So yeah, that's totally agree. Like, user needs just one button, like print money, and that's it. Or no.
Besides users, there is also massive consideration for other projects from Web 2 trying to come to Web 3. When we started building on Nair, I've been approached by gazillion people. How did you choose? What was the framework? How did you compare? Because it's very, very difficult. And the last couple of conversations that I had, I basically told them, and maybe very soon you wouldn't need to worry about that. And people are like, what do you mean? And I explain to them concept of chain abstraction, and they go like, okay. So it is quite possible that, especially for testing waters, in the future, businesses will have to come to Nair because it is a way to test waters on any chain and basically see where it works best, where do you have the best signal, the best traction, and then you might continue building on Nair, or you might go and build natively. But I think also from enterprises and from businesses' perspective, chain abstraction is going to solve a humongous headache where we spent 18 months evaluating different chains before you can start building. You know, here you can just start building, do an MVP, see what's working, and then make a decision. I think it's going to remove a lot of friction in bringing a lot more businesses in.
I just want to add one thing. I think it's really interesting for the longest time possible. So far, centralized exchanges have been probably the key to acquiring users outside of crypto into crypto, and so with chain abstraction or with a platform like DapDap, it's like, let's break those barriers down, and if we can be the platform that acquires users, because it's so much easier to onboard and educate and then get them directly integrated in or pinpointed into a specific ecosystem, and then have them be able to try out the dApps, have them be able to try out the applications and explore the network, then we can kind of capture some of that market share and acquire users that want to go explore a specific ecosystem. So let's both shake that up, Let's do it.
Great. I think we're out of time. That was a lot of fun.
Alrighty.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.